Hey guys, welcome to another live show, another live She Knows Arsenal. Make sure you guys are liking this video and subscribing to the channel and getting into that chat and letting me know what you guys are thinking and feeling. It is Friday, so happy Friday to everyone. Hopefully, you guys had a really good week. I know I did. Diluted will be here. I think he's just running a little bit late. So hopefully he'll pop in soon. But I wanted to go ahead and get started because I didn't want to be too late. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Fulham. Big match. Every match is a massive game for Arsenal, but they won their game against Brighton, which is tough opposition. We've struggled with Brighton in the past, and they passed that test with flying colors. They won by 3 goals to 1. Awobi with the wonder goal. It was just like really nice individual effort. And they also got a gift, I think, from Verbruggen early on in the game. And also they scored on a set piece. So 3 different types of goals. That being said, like they thoroughly deserve that win. And so I think we go into the Fulham game kind of thinking, okay, this might not be easy. This may not be an easy game for Arsenal. No game in the Premier League is easy, but it won't be a walk in the park. We're going away from home to Craven Cottage, like the smallest pitch in the Premier League. So much different than the Emirates. And yeah, so it'll be a big test. And obviously, they have players that will be motivated to beat us. Awobi, Emil Smith Rowe. They'll want to keep up their unbeaten record against us from last season. We didn't get any point, or we got 1 point from a possible 6 against Fulham. And that was kind of a big talking point throughout that season of whether or not those Fulham games were the reason why we didn't win the league. And I think when you look at the games and how they came and how we played in both fixtures, you have to say that those are games that were meant to be winning. And no matter how good Fulham are playing, you need to be beating Fulham at home. You need to put in a better performance than what we put in away from home. I think we lost that game 2-1. We scored early in the one away from home, and then we just gave up really soft goals. We just never really looked like ourselves. And so those games, especially the Fulham away game, reminded me of the Bournemouth away game where we just were not ourselves. We were just very strange. We were stodgy. We couldn't create chances. We got a lucky early goal and we just could not capitalize from there. So Fulham present a little bit of a tough fixture for us where it's usually been a good fixture for us in the past. So I think there's a little bit of nervousness there, a little bit of, well, the narrative of Emil Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson, who won't be able to play in this match. What are we going to give? What are we going to be giving in this match? And so we're coming off of, a good period. And I would think from a Fulham perspective, this is not a good time to play us either. 4 games on the bounce, winning. We're winning with different lineups. So it's not like we have to have a perfect 11 to win the game. And so, yeah, it's one of those where we just have to get the 3 points. And we're coming into a period of fixtures where, you know, it's a nice little run of games. I'll pull it up again for those of you guys who weren't on the stream yesterday. But we have a nice little run of fixtures. Fulham, then we have Monaco at home, Everton at home, Crystal Palace at home. So we have 3 games at home after this one. We don't have to leave London. Then we play Crystal Palace away. Then we play Ipswich at home. Then we play Brentford away. So hold on real quick. All of a sudden, as soon as I started talking to you guys, my nose just started stuffing up. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we have a nice little run of fixtures. So it's just about collecting those 3 points. We can push ourselves further in the Champions League. We can get to the semifinals of the Carabao Cup all in December. So yeah. And like I told you guys, I will be at Cosm for our game, watching it there. So there won't be a watch along, but I'll definitely be doing a vlog and I'll share that with you guys. For those of you guys who are interested in seeing what Cosm is all about, I'm going to go with my family. So yeah, I'll put that up on the channel. There's 200 of you guys watching on multiple platforms. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Diluted says he's running over. So I guess he'll just be here when he gets here. Mata says Fulham is stressful though, for real, for real. It is, but I remember the stress and aggravation pre Nottingham Forest. I think, we never played Fulham when we were in a good period. You know what I mean? Like last season, both times that we played them, there were questions around the way that we were playing. And we were struggling to like play our football. Last season, we never played them in a good period. So now that we're playing a lot better, I expect us to beat them. I don't expect it to just be like a walk in the park, but I do expect us to win. So yeah, boy says just win the next game, no point in looking ahead. Dushasaurus says, morning, Jess. Good morning to you as well. Matt Vita says, hi, Jess. Hello to you as well. Victor says, I don't care about the performance here. I just want to win set piece FC settings. Yeah, I know that people will be hyper focused on the way that we win, especially because there's like a lot of hand wringing and obsession over our set pieces. But I think as Arsenal fans, we know that we can play good football. Last 4 games, we've played good football, especially the 3 prior to Man United. So I don't really think we need to be that worried about it. We just need to win. Jagoon says, this is one of those matches where the players will have extra motivation. Diehard Gunner says, just the midfield again is key. If we get the balance right, it's light work again. Jagoon says they are probably the biggest slip up we had last season. 100%. 100%. You can look at the Aston Villa game, but we hadn't lost a game all like the whole January to April. You were going to slip up. We dropped way too many points in the beginning of the season. And that's why these games are just so much more like there is no room for error. There is no room for us to drop any points now. So, yeah, Aston Villa at home was a huge slip up, but they were in a good period. That game was sandwiched in between 2 difficult fixtures for us as well. I think we had games against Bayern on either side. And so it really is the Fulham games where we were pretty much under no pressure. I was at the Fulham game at home last season, and I was just shocked at what I was seeing. It was just embarrassing, really. Chucking the ball into the back of your own net in the first 8 seconds of the game is unforgivable. Then you just struggle to kind of equalize. It took us until the second half to equalize, and then we scored 2 goals, and instead of being able to just ride out the win at home, you guys conceded on a set piece. It was just nonsense. It really, really was. And so, yeah, I think Fulham for me was the worst, of all the games that we dropped points in top 6 games against City, things like that. I can excuse that, but not Fulham. Cena says January fixtures ain't easy, so better rack up the points this month. Boy says if Ronaldo wins a game with a free kick, is it set piece FC? Diehard Gunner says Fulham play open football. We should smoke them. And Jonathan says Fulham scares me more than United. They are flying. Took 4 points off of us last season. Need a big win this Sunday. Diluted is here. I'm going to add him into the stream. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Let's go ahead and do this.
First things first. I apologize for my late list. My last stream overran. We're here as long as Jess needs us. I apologize. Pay my fee. Do all of that. Yeah, safe. Sorry.
It's fine. It happens. Don't worry. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good, man. We're getting 3 points. We're doing what we need to do. No complaints from me, man.
Yeah. What's in your cup? Juice?
Apple juice. Well, nothing no more, but apple. It was apple juice.
I knew it. I was like, no way. You're drinking coffee like a real Don, like me, drinking apple juice.
Nah, it's too late in the United Kingdom now for that coffee thing, man. It's like 17 minutes past 4, man. I don't need no coffee no more, man. So,
no,
yeah, man. What we got to discuss?
Oh, lots of things. Fulham, and also the little rumor of Jesus leaving in January. So we'll talk about that. DS Electronics says, hey, Justin DG. John Donut says, hey, Justin DG. Jonathan says, set piece of COLA.
Come on, call the boys.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't care by hook or by crook, especially when it comes to Man United. They could have kicked it in the back of their own net twice.
Tell them again, Jess.
Huh?
Tell them again. I love that. Doesn't matter.
I literally don't care. No, literally, because that is my personal cup final Man United every year. We have to play them 3 times now this season. I need a win every single time, and I don't care how we get it. Nothing
Amen.
is better than those tiers. Those tiers are so
They hit different. See, like they hit different. Like you said, don't care how, by hook or by crook. Like just get it done. Let them cry.
exact
The winners win, losers explain. If you got, as I said on my stream, if you got a problem with Arsenal scoring from corners, fucking defend them better. Then don't give us the corners. Then, other than
exact
that, allow us.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I want to talk about a couple of things. You know, who's going to be available for Fulham, and Jesus. So we'll leave the Jesus thing for the end. But Calafiori and Gabriel didn't train outside; they trained inside, and so we don't know 100% if they're going to be available for Fulham. Pre, United, I think that was like a huge worry because you know who's going to come in. Kivior, Zinchenko, somebody. And, after, I think there was a lot of positive, praise for both players in different ways. I think Kivior, that's his best game in an Arsenal shirt. And Zinchenko, played really well. And Arteta took him out before Ahmad really got going. So I
Thank the
think
Lord.
yeah, I think they come out with some positive performances there. Are you less worried about them potentially having to play based on the United game, or do you still feel like, okay, well, they're still not as good as Calafiori and Gabriel, so we can't trust them?
Like you said there, like it's not even a diss to Kivi or Calafiori. It's not even a diss to Kivi or Zinchenko. They're just not those players. But at the end of the day, we've got one of the smallest squads. The games are coming thick and fast. When the window's shut in August or September, whenever, this is the players we've got until January at the earliest. So everybody needs to play. Obviously, in hindsight, for Zinchenko and Gabriel, yeah, Raya had to make a save. But I wouldn't say, when you look at Arsenal, Man United, the fixture, to what actually happened weren't really tested. That being said, Kivio, you stood tall. I don't think it was your best game in an Arsenal shirt because I think you did well a couple of years ago against Chelsea, but you stood tall. Zinchenko, you stood tall. And at the end of the day, that's what we need. Whether you're going to play 1 game, 5 games, 38 games, we need you to stand up to be counted. So big them up. The only thing I would say with Kivio is I think he's got the raw capability, not even necessarily to the United game. And I know I banter with Kivio with you and whatnot, but the one thing I think about Kivio is you've got the raw materials to be half decent. You are a decent player. I just need to see a bit more personality, like just puff out your chest, like take someone's spot kind of thing. So they did their thing, man. They really did their thing. And like as you said there, like everybody can say after the game, yeah, I wasn't scared. Kivio and Zini, they did well. But let's be honest, to be missing your left back and mainly, I would say, Gabriel in the game against Man United, regardless where they are, naturally you're going to be scared. But they did their thing, man. And to be fair, for Arteta's considering playing them against Fulham, I hope to not see them both start. But all you can do is play what's in front of you. You've given the manager confidence. And as we know, it's a squad game. We've got hella injuries. We've had to rotate. And there's probably a couple of other players throughout this period that are going to end up starting games and play and have to do their job. There's a lot of games to come, man. Thick and fast. Pause.
Yeah, 100%. Jonathan says like this was a big confidence builder for Kivior, and he stood up. And you could even see it after the game. Gabriel coming onto the pitch and G'ing him up and all that kind of stuff. You know that they talked to him before that game because we couldn't afford to drop any points. And it's big having Gabriel out. And I think that's why Saliba's performance in that game stood out to me so much and why he was my man of the match, because we know Gabriel is the physical and vocal leader back there. Saliba is like the silent, smooth guy back there, but Gabriel's the one that's really getting them together. And I think Saliba led Kivior, and that helped him have a better game. So,
As you should.
yeah, exactly. You expect players to stand up. And I think in the past, it hasn't really been like that. It's the, other player comes in and it's just too weird. It's like they can't just step in and play their game. They weren't tested. And the players that Fulham have and the era that they're in right now, they're definitely a dangerous team. So I think if Kivior does play, he'll have a more difficult time with, I think his name is Muniz. Yeah, very more physical striker. Hoyland is physical, but a fit more physical person. I would love for Gabriel to be back, but if Kivior plays, he just has to stand up. We're not going to have just 12, 13 players that we can rely upon. We need 18. Genuinely, these guys are going to have to earn them paychecks. So I'm happy for Kivior. I'm happy for Cini, but I would love to see Calafiori and Gabriel in that line. I would love to.
You said it yourself. Like you'd love for both of them to be fit. Would love Benjamin White to be a part of it. Tomiyasu, I love you, but you've been a no-show. Would love you to be part of it. at the end of the day, you're not in it, so you're gonna have to be utilized. And against Fulham, I actually think I wouldn't say start. You might see Kieran Tierney. I don't think we had to make the subs in the game like that, but you can only use what's involved with you. And like kind of going back to what you said, one thing that scared me a bit more beyond just not having our first choice or one of our first choice options at left back and centre half was if these lot ain't got 90 minutes, you probably have to put Rice centre back. Partey has to go centre, go right back. Who the hell plays left back? There's no Lewis Skelly. You're gonna have to do something. Like you've got Tierney, who clearly is not favoured by Arteta. You're on the bench. You can be utilised, but you're only still at the club because of the injury. So kind of on brand with what you said. We're at that point. The whole squad's got to be utilised, man. Everyone's got to stand up to be counted. And listen, let's not be naive. Kiwior and Zinchenko, you're not main players like that. But if Arteta was and is ever considering dropping Gabriel or dropping Calafiori, or their form goes off a cliff, at least you've given some confidence to the manager. Like, you know what? You did well against United, the top 6 game. You might get an opportunity. Whether that happens is another thing. But we need to go on a run, man. I'm sure you've spoken about it already. You need to go on a run. Like, there's no effing about. Like, we have to go on a run. There's no way around it.
I think it's really important for these players to play in games that matter. I really do. I think that's the only way you can build confidence. I really don't think you gain confidence for playing in the Carabao Cup matches against Bolton if you're not a kid. I really don't. I think you have to give them that opportunity. And if they F it up, they F it up. But I think last 4 games, I think every single starting 11 has been different. And even Nottingham Forest, we had players in there that people were like, oh shit. Like I wasn't trying to see Trossard after this international break. Jesus, what is he going to do? He's been like this. I think Marino started that game. We've had a different 11 every single time, and we've won all 4 games. So, and every single game was important. And I think that gives us a lot more in terms of squad depth than just, Sterling and Jesus ain't getting shit from playing against Bolton. But, Jesus would get a little bit of maybe confidence against like Nottingham Forest, because it's actually in the Premier League. So I'm hoping that adds to the squad because, Lord Jesus, we are going to have injuries the whole season. Are you worried about Calafiori being injury prone? I mean, he's been injured quite a bit. I saw people being like, he's injury prone. He's done like that. What do you think? Are you worried?
I mean, naturally, you're always worried to be missing out on key players, man. I don't know if he's injury prone. I know people will look at the big injury he had and the knock-on effect, but where I would say I agree with the worriedness is since he had that big injury for Arsenal, obviously him and Jurriën Timber and actually Benjamin White when he comes back, we're going to have to be a bit cute and clever with when we play them, how many minutes they play, etc., etc. So I'd say that's where my concerns come from, man. Like me and you are both massive fans of Calafiori. At the end of the day, it's about the knock-on effect. And one area Arsenal fans, I think everyone was confident about in August or September was our defensive options. God said, yeah, you're going to be tested because everyone's being tested. God forbid. Saliba's the only one that's kind of half been fit. I know he's been suspended, but he's kind of been the one that's been ever present. So naturally, it's a concern, man. Like, yeah, it is. It is. To be honest with you, in hindsight, watching the United game again, and when you remove your emotions and you will look at what Manchester United are, not to downplay them, even though they're not great, Kiwior and Zinchenko should be able to come into this team and do well, or even Tierney, or even in theory, Lewis Skelly. But naturally, it's a concern, man, because you're never really confident about the aftermath. Like this guy, Gabriel's injury scares me because the man's in a great form. I don't think he's underrated now, but I've made videos. I think he's one of our most underrated and underappreciated players, especially when you're there next to Saliba. Take nothing away from Saliba. I think everyone's quick to praise Saliba and shut up when he has bad games, not that he's had none. And I think people are very vocal with Gabriel, but don't really give him his flowers. As you said, Gabriel's a leader. So naturally, with Calafiori, you're a bit shook, man. Like to have these defensive options and all of them pick up knocks, Calafiori picks up knocks, Zinchenko picks up knocks, Benjamin White's obviously been nursing injuries in that out. I love Tomiyasu and you're the same, but like the less said about him and injuries, the better. So naturally, it is a worry, man, because there's so many games, and I don't want to exaggerate, but for me, it feels like this is the make or break period. Like we've been getting results. We beat Forest, we beat West Ham, we dealt with United, we dealt with Sporting Lisbon. You want your players available, man, whether they're starting or finishing games, just.
Yeah, for sure. I think just having players coming in and doing well has alleviated the nervousness around certain players getting injured. It's not great, but at the same time, it's like, okay, at least you can do a job. Because before, we just didn't know, So talk to me about Timber, though. I just think he deserves a little bit more praise. And he's just so, I mean, you were a right back, were you not?
Yeah,
keep some praise.
And left back, versatile, can do both.
Okay, so you were just like Timber in your own way. Go, yeah. Tell me about
And
Timber,
let's
since
call
that
it
was
better
your
golden Timber, as you've
specialty.
seen. But hey, what can I say about Timber? The man, like when we sat there and we signed Timber in that summer with Declan Rice and that, I said it, and like the receipts are there. I said I understand the hype, but not take nothing away from Declan.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, great player, signed for 100 million. To the casual viewer, he's playing in the Premier League. More people are going to know about him. But I said, don't sleep on Timber. This is a masterstroke. That Ajax to Arsenal pathway is amazing. Bring Gerald Hatto. Timber's amazing, whether it's left back, whether it's right back. Forget his goal, which obviously made the difference. The man's just so intelligent, so tigerish, so tenacious. Like, there's nothing I can say that praises Timber enough. The man is special. He's just a great player, man. We've come a long way from Pablo Marie, Rob Holding, Callum Chambers, the list goes on. To have all of the options we have and Timber, it's amazing. And I'm keen to see what Timber and Saka as a partnership bring down that right-hand side. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Big up Timber.
Yeah.
Like, just there's nothing I can say. Like, Timber's great. He's a bad boy.
Rewatching the game, I was like, he was just so, him and Saliba on that side, just absolutely. I think when you have players that just like, I don't want to use the word because no,
Use the word, man. The streets want to know.
they have a little bit of like the aura or whatever, like, because they just seem so confident and assured in what they were doing. And I think that that makes the opposition feel less confident about what they're doing at times because they just asserted themselves and
Facts.
they just made it easy, I thought. And it was both of them on that side that were really like trying to get us forward and doing their job. And I thought where maybe the attack was struggling, I thought our defenders were like, nah, we're gonna win this game. We're gonna get
Oh, we had to
the
get a
3
clean
points.
sheet against Man United. I'm not being funny. Like, and you've said it because I watched your videos. We've not really got that many clean sheets this season when we deserve it. Man United, well, if we didn't get a clean sheet against Man United, don't get twisted. I want the 3 points. Unacceptable. Like, we owe David Raya and big up Raya because he made another big save for us in that game. No, Jess is right, bro. They can banter it. He's got aura. They've got aura. Let them chat shit. He's got aura. They've got aura. Like, we got some black defenders and they're lit now. Like, we're here now. We're here now, man. Jess,
Yeah.
man. Like, it's
I hate to
amazing.
like because the word is a little cringe, but that's
It is
exactly
cringe.
what it is. I just feel like when you come up against real players that are like confident on the ball, you're not gonna run up on them and just nick the ball off of them. You're not.
Shout out Pastor Timber, man.
It makes you back up, and I just think Timber had another really good game where he played on both sides. And Arteta, I have to give him so much credit for seeing Zinchenko get cooked that one time, making
Right.
that change,
Trust me. Trust me.
putting
Thank you.
Timber on the other side because that was
Like,
the
yeah,
first
Zinni,
time Ahmad
you're on a yellow
saw
card.
a
Safe.
real
Get out of
fullback.
it.
Yeah, and he got clamped, and I was like, okay, Arteta, you learned. 60th minute, Zinni must
It's
come
not the
out.
game to be effing about him, man. We needed the 3 points. There's bigger tests on the weekend against Fulham. We knew that going into this game. Like, Man United, not that difficult for us beyond the obvious. Fulham is a difficult test, very difficult test. So we
Yeah,
just need to get our 3 points, man. And big up
yeah,
Boy as well, because I think he's bang on the money with a lot of his comments around Timber, especially when he said he hasn't played enough games. The man's lit. If the man can just stay fit, we're gone. Like, we are gone. Like,
yeah. I
Arsenal
love
fans,
it.
look at our defensive options. We cried for days like this. And look at
Yeah,
us now.
exactly. We're very spoiled in the
Spoiled.
defense,
That's the right word.
in
Spoiled.
the defensive areas for
Not give you
sure.
though, but we're spoiled.
So
Don't give you. Pick him up.
let's switch gears to attack. And Arteta was in his press conference. They asked him about being step piece FC and all that kind of stuff, and he said it's a badge of honor type of thing. And I agree with him. There's no
That's corner
reason
boys.
to, yeah, exactly. Like we don't need to act like it's a thing. Like who cares? They were calling us Dark Arts FC at the beginning of the season. Now it's Corner FC. We don't care, you know. But obviously, he was asked about Emil Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, and Nwaneri, and this is what he said.
Turn it up, please.
You'll hear his answer. They're just asking him about them.
Sure you're not gonna get copyrighted for that.
No, we allowed Fabio to go as well because we wanted to create the room and the space for Ethan, and he has given us every reason to trust him. He's shown that he's ready to make the next step, and it's great to have him.
So he basically confirmed that he let Emil and Fabio go to create space for Ethan, which you don't really hear Arteta talk so confidently about players or like very plainly. I think he veils things very well. And that just speaks to how much he likes the player. Do you think that his words match his actions, though?
Yeah,
Because people, obviously people wanted Ethan to play more.
I do.
So, yeah.
100%. I do think he's being a bit. He's telling. It's weird. Let me. Like, I might as well just say everything. I think he's telling a bit of a white lie, and he's telling the truth on another hand. I don't think he wanted Smith Rowe to go. I think Smith Rowe made it clear. I need to cut. It is what it is. The club said, you know what? It's a decent fee. Let's go. Fabio Vieira is a whole different entity. He needed to go play football. Maybe there was failure to bring in a midfielder or that profile. But I also agree with him in that clearly you sat there and said, you know what? Ethan's young. He can do a thing here. He can grow. We got to slow cook him and all of that jazz, but he could do a thing. So I don't think he's lying. I personally feel with Ethan, don't shoot me in the comments. I think Arteta is doing what he needs to do with him. I think he's slow cooking him. I think, yes, I would like to see him play more, but I think he's doing everything he needs to do. And where you look at Martin Odegaard, William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, I know he's not scoring goals, but Martinelli, all of these young G's, Arteta knows what he's doing. Arteta knows what he's doing with these guys. And it's different for Ethan because Ethan is like Arteta's project. The rest of the names I said, they've all made their debuts before. Ethan's the one Arteta has to put his arm on and say, yeah, you're going to play and you're going to do your thing. The only issue I have is, as I said, Ethan's development with Arteta, I'm here for that. Like, isolated. Where we found ourselves in this climate of Odegaard being injured, needing other players off the bench, needing our thing, I would have liked to have seen Ethan play more. But you can't get any more like you just said there. Arteta plays a very coy game with transfers and who we're going to play and whatnot. He's very specific. He talks about, he gave that example about we need to build Ethan up and lay the cement and the bricks and all of that. We need to slow cook him. We need to do this. We need to do that. He did say a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, he basically said, Ethan's got the ability. He's got it all. The platform's there. How much do you want it? That tells me your time's coming, bro. Like, Ethan were cool. My only thing I'd say to Arteta is a bit like, not against United, I think it was against West Ham. I do think you can, like, when you want to take off Saka, Ethan can play out wide. Ethan can play instead of Martinelli. Yes, we know he's an 8 or a 10. Can't disagree with anything Arteta is saying there, man. Don't think Ethan will be okay.
Yeah,
that's our fault, Foden.
I feel like this is not going to be my thing for the season. I know some people have made Ethan not getting playing time their thing. It's just not going to be mine. I don't have time. Yeah.
Arteta rates him, man. Tranquillo, man.
I have other things to worry about, but Ethan not getting playing time is just like, I didn't expect Arteta to trust him.
Him and Lewis Kelly are cool, man. They'll get their minutes, man.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever, but I thought that was interesting that Arteta was so bold and so confident to say something like that. And that I know that doesn't mean that he doesn't rate Emil or whatever, but we're going to come up against Emil. He's going to start. Reece Nelson can't play. How confident are you that Emil is going to score against us? I just feel like it's written. I've already put it down.
It's written in the script. Do you know what? Out of 10, 6. I think if this game was at the Emirates, I would say 10 out of 10. Smith Rowe scores, knee slide, clap for the guy. It's written in the script, not just him, but it will be as well. You got the Halem boys. I would say exactly. I would say for the neutrals, me and you and everyone else, we're not watching Fulham week in, week out, but I'd say for the neutral Premier League viewer, Fulham are probably one of the most impressive teams. Marco Silva, is doing well. They press well. They score goals. They've got Smith Rowe doing well. They got Iwobi. They got your American boy. You got Robertson. You've got Harry Wilson, I believe. It's a difficult test. I'm not gonna lie, Jess. We need to win. I want revenge. That is one of the games as to why we didn't win the Premier League. I don't care how you do it. Win the game.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to see a big gap in quality between us and them. I feel like sometimes we drop our levels just a little bit, and then there's not a lot of I'm like, okay, we're the better team. Why am I not seeing that?
That's our worst away performance last season. Let's be brutally honest. Like, sometimes you can lose a game. Exactly. Sometimes you can lose a game, and there's 1 or 2 positives that you can take. Any Arsenal fan who tells me there's any positives from Fulham away last season, you're a liar, bro. You're a liar. There's nothing good from that. We was rubbish. Kivior was playing left back. He got long.
Yeah. And also we were playing the weird midfield.
Weird midfield as well. Yeah.
I hate that weird midfield. It was just like it had ran its course. I felt, we got away with it a couple of times. Sorry, guys, I keep messing with the mic, but it had ran its like we were getting away with it. And then at that point, I just remember them trying to pass the ball to Kai Havertz in the center circle, and I was like, "Cut the cameras, stop!"
Let's be honest, we were shit. Like the first half, we was half in it. Second half, it went down the cliff, man. It was horrible, man.
Oof.
Like, let's be honest, like, it was horrible.
Yeah, 100%. Chris says, without context, Mikel is right. But if you want to slowly bet in a player, then that player can't be the number 2 to your most creative player. A signing was needed, or Ethan needed to play more, simple as. But I think that's where, Deluded saying that he didn't really want to sell Emil comes in, because that probably was going to be that other player in there. But Emil wanting to go forced his hand. And you know how Arsenal are. They're not just going to panic buy and bring in somebody. They're going to use what they have. And so I never really expected a creative midfielder to come in. I know we were
Arteta just need it's a bit like it's different, Jess, but you're bang on the money in that it's different, but it's like Man City with Rodri. You don't have a solution, an internal solution. Forget recruitment. You don't have another way of playing. And I think Arteta had that. You still kind of want to play the same way if Odegaard's not there. And as Jess eloquently put, Smith Rowe's irrelevant. Fabio Vieira is irrelevant. You're not going to blood Ethan in that regards. He had no way around it. He tried it against Bournemouth. It didn't work. So you are right, man. Ethan's okay, man. I know in this day and age, young players, highly rated, you got to play them. They're the bee's knees. Relax, people. Tranquilo. Ethan is cool. You're forgetting Mikel Arteta has worked with Foden. He's worked with Saka. He's done this. He's done that. Ethan is calm. It will happen. But that being said, forget my youth cap on. As an Arsenal fan, Ethan, I want to see you more. Without logic, I want to see you more. For the very fact that you dropped a shoulder and went for a shot against Inter Milan, you're ready for this. You're ready. You're ready. And Lewis Skelly, like him as well.
Yeah. There's been some games that Arteta has brought Ethan in that I know he wouldn't have brought Fabio Vieira or Emil in. I just know he wouldn't have. And that's no shade to them, because we've seen it before where they just were on the bench. No creativity, no life. We still just left them, but Ethan came on. So I do think Arteta rates him. Maybe he could have been a little bit more adventurous, but I kind of want to put like a pin in that part of the season and move forward, because that was odd, and I just feel like we're doing something different now. So unless, knock on wood, something else happens with Odegaard, I don't think we need to think about that as much anymore.
Yeah. If Odegaard gets injured again, I want to see Ethan. But big up Arteta. I just think he'll revert to type. You will see Moreno, Partey, Rice, Jorginho even coming. I think these are options he's going to do before Ethan. And there's no slight on Ethan. I think it's just an age and development thing and the need to want to get 3 points, whether it's right or wrong. I think these things go against Ethan in that it's like any walk of life. It's like you want Ethan to be experienced, but you need to be given opportunity to get experience. And I think that goes for a lot of people in life with their jobs. So yeah, I think that with Ethan, man, he'll be okay, man.
It's gonna be fine. There's 415 of you guys watching on multiple platforms. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. And if you guys are watching on X, come on over to the YouTube side every once in a while. Make sure you're subscribed, and you also put your comments
Stop
in.
Being nice, Jess.
I don't see them on Twitter.
Stop being nice. Stop being nice. Get the hell off X and go on YouTube. Subscribe to She Knows Arsenal. Hit the like button. Put on your notification bells. Stop being. Jess is being nice. That's what you need to do.
I'm trying to be nice. I am. So I saw a question about the lineup. Just quickly, let's run through the lineup. Who do you want to see? All things considered, would you make any changes? Because I do have one that I probably would make. But the floor is yours.
I mean, are we assuming Calafiori and Gabriel are fit and Arteta's doing mind games?
Yeah. Because I think all in all, like, I think if you assume that anyway, like, it's just you're gonna swap out the other two anyway. So it's either gonna be Gabriel and Calafiori, it's gonna be Zinchenko and Kivior.
You know what? If everyone can play, then obviously David Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Calafiori in midfield. It goes without saying. Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice for me, Thomas Partey, Bukayo Saka on the right, Kai Havertz goes through the middle. Left wing, I'm torn between Trossard and Martinelli, but I'm going to be biased to my Brazilian brother and go with Martinelli.
That's probably the one difference I'd probably make. I think
I'll be real. I wanted to play Trossard, but I can't.
Yeah, no, I know you have to stay loyal. I get that. So yeah, Reece Nelson can't play. Tom Kearney is suspended, and Harrison Reed and Joaquin Anderson are out. I saw like against Brighton, Kenny Tete didn't play, but I wonder if he'll be fit. I think that makes a huge difference because Tete and Robinson are those types of fullbacks that they're athletic and fast and strong. And I'm not sure that suits Martinelli's game because he wants to run past you, and he's not running past Kenny Tete. He's not. He's not running past Tete. I'm so sorry.
She knows Arsenal, you know.
He is
Okay.
not. Do you think that that's a good match?
So Trossard is. Martinelli's not. Trossard is.
The thing about Trossard, though, is he's not going to rely upon his pace, so he's going to do something else. If Martinelli gets to a position where he can't go past you,
okay, but what about that way?
He doesn't have any other options.
What about that way? What about that way?
What
about our way? What about that way? Defensively, what about that way?
What do you mean?
Martinelli's going to be needed for that. Like you said, Tete, he's quick. They're probably going to go with Harrison Wilson out there. Martinelli's needed.
I'm not choosing my left winger based on the defensive parts of their game. I'm so sorry. What we've gotten to the stage with Martinelli where that's kind of the only reason why people would start him over.
You want to bet me that Martinelli scores against Fulham?
Well, maybe he will off the bench last couple minutes.
You want to bet me that Martinelli is going to score Miss She Knows Arsenal?
Sure.
Or not?
Yeah.
You don't think he is? I'll bet you that he is.
Well, okay. How much? 20?
I think he was gonna. I'll go with 20. I was gonna say 200.
Oh, I'm not doing no 200.
When it comes to Martinelli, I'll throw my bank account away.
Presents to buy. No, $20.
All right, everyone heard it. $20. That's like £18. Martinelli does a madness, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Everyone's all right.
He was looking rank against Man United, but listen.
No, he wasn't. He was. Look at the numbers. They were there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, look at the numbers. What do you mean choosing? Okay, you say choosing that. What do you think Arteta does? Why do you think Martinelli starts? What do you mean? And I like Trossard. When you lot were sitting here hating on Trossard, I said
start against West Ham, did he? He didn't start against West Ham, did he?
Yeah, that's cool. I don't care about Martinelli like that. I care about Arsenal, but we're not gonna do is act like Martinelli shit. Like last season, this season, when it's big games, we know who's down for the trenches. Half of you waffling about not Jess. Half of you waffling about Trossard. You hated him 2 weeks ago, mate. Like, come on.
Me, I stayed true.
No, not you. That's why I said not you, because you like shit ballers. But yeah, they were joining him up.
Oh, so Odegaard shit. Be serious.
Okay, cool. We link up for Odegaard. Yeah. All right, cool. Link up for Odegaard.
I got Timber is on my home kit. Timber shit. All right.
No, we link up for Timber. Every now and again, you remind me that she might know Arsenal.
And every once in a while, you remind me that he might just be deluded. So yeah, okay.
Fair play. That was a good one.
You guys are smashing the likes. I do want to spend the last 15 minutes or so just talking about this little light rumor about Gabriel Jesus maybe leaving in January, not getting a lot of playing time, probably not at the top of anybody's mind. I think people want to see somebody else come in. So this is, Palmeiras have been linked to Gabriel Jesus for a while now, and it's like they're not trying to get him in. I don't think they can get him in January. Arsenal may not want to let him go in January, but Arsenal are looking for a striker in January. So if they were able to maybe identify somebody, they allow maybe Gabriel Jesus to go on a loan. That's what it kind of feels like these reports are saying. But I also wanted to point out something that I feel like, I know that, people were yesterday, they were like, well, why are we talking about Havertz and Martinelli? We won the game against United. And I'm like, because they were probably our least good performers. And so that's Havertz, you think so?
Especially
actually, Havertz, I thought Havertz and Martinelli were at the bottom of they weren't terrible. So when I say they weren't their performances were lower than everyone else's, I'm not saying that they were terrible. But I thought it was noticeable that if Saka and Odegaard are not on 9 and 10, what are they doing? What are they offering?
Jess, you're speaking fact. But let's be brutally honest, yeah. When we get past the hype, and I like the fact that you're like me in that, pardon my French, fuck Man United. We just want to win. We want to batter them. We want to do what we want to do, yeah. When we move that, let's be brutally honest. But we weren't amazing against United. And that's not a criticism. We just handled business. We did what we need to do. It's 6 and 7s out of 10s. I must admit, I agree with that comment, especially with Havertz, less so Martinelli, even though I would love to push the PL. When I watched the game first time round, I was like, yeah, Havertz, you should have scored. I still maintain that. You should have bagged in that game. But when I watched it again, I saw a lot of work in the channels, dropping deep, doing a lot of the stuff that nobody really cares about. It's not going to be in the highlights, but I'll kind of allow you in that regard. But you are right. That's what we know about our team, Jess. We know, and to be honest, Man United is probably one of the only times that if Odegaard and Saka are not making anything happen, which is 9 times out of 10, we're not scoring goals and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's harsh for Havertz. I hear it with Martinelli, because at the end of the day, Martinelli and Partey should have bagged it. Should have probably been about 4-0, but I think it's harsh for Havertz.
So
I can't cap.
you know what? I think you're right. There was some link up and stuff like that. I think where maybe the little bit of a gap is that enough? The link up and working hard at this stage, is it enough? Havertz,
No,
since joining us versus title contending teams, which I would imagine is Liverpool and City, he's played 8 games and scored 0 goals.
no, but
Wow.
whose fault is that, Jess, man? Like
I,
I've said it to you before, and you
but
know,
I have a
I
copy out,
think
but
we're
go
on
ahead.
the same page in that we've got to the point now where you can't really look at Havertz. Of course, if you play good, praise. If you play dead, question marks. But you didn't buy yourself. You're not playing yourself up front. Respectfully to Kai Havertz, you're not Gyökeres. You're not Isaac. You're not Haaland. You're doing what you can. You're a service-reliant striker. Against United, fair enough. It's just about the team. Get things done. But we're not creating enough for our forward. This is why I tell fans, if I'm completely honest with you, you could sign Gyökeres and Isaac. Are we creating enough to suggest that, yeah, you signed them, they're going to get 20 goals? Dead. Like, I think people are very harsh as Havertz. As my man said, we never bought him. Jess has said this. I've said this. We all know we did not buy him to play as a striker. He was going to play as a striker on an occasional basis. But Arteta tried to do the midfield thing. It didn't work. We
Yeah.
fell upwards. Gabriel Jesus got injured, and before that, he was stinking up the joint. We all know we need a forward. I don't think we're signing one in Jan, but that's where we're at, man. I think people are harsh on Kai. I think we've drawn as much blood from that Kai Havertz up front thing as we can. But even if you played Isaac, Gyökeres, Osimhen, Sesko, whatever have you, we don't really create for our strikers. And when you deep it, Mikel Arteta, do you want your striker to score goals? I mean, yes, you do, but you're a sacrificial lamb. You need to drop deep and get into midfield and work the channels. It's really, when you look at Arsenal's system, it's the inside forwards that benefit a lot. Oh, the
Give me
dog's
2
back.
seconds.
Bring up the Chihuahua. Hey, that dog looks malnourished, Jess, man. The fuck? Your dog looks malnourished, boy. Looking skinny like you. All right, cool. RSPCA, my brother. This dog is finished. Okay. Allegedly. This dog is finished. Why is he looking all skinny? Wait, you got 2?
Yeah.
When did you get 2 dogs?
Where you been?
I didn't know you had 2. Why'd you get these little idiot ones?
Huh?
Why'd you get these little idiot dogs? Why didn't you get a proper thing?
They're just so cute. Like, look at them. Look at their ears. They're so cute.
What's the
them so
lifespan on
much.
these?
Like, I think they'll live forever. 12 years.
Oh, and let's hope we win a league title before that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, I
But
can't lie. Bring the other one. That one's ugly, man. Bring the other one. This one's ugly.
don't ever speak about my
He's
like
ugly,
my
bro.
child. He's
This one's
gorgeous.
ugly. What's this one's name? Is this Beckham?
Yeah, look how
Hey, Beckham. You're ugly, but you're cool, man.
he doesn't listen. But yeah.
I know it smells crazy in there.
He's just thinner. He's just thinner. It does not. They're so cute. Anyways, you're a hater.
Wait, cut the track. You let your dogs on your sofa? You're moving mad.
Yeah, of course.
They're
These are
dogs.
inside like regular dogs. Like,
Your
what?
dogs? What do you mean? You need a part in your house that you don't like? Don't let you go on the sofa. The dogs, man.
Oh, see, you're not an animal person, and that's
I am an animal person. I'm definitely an animal person.
No,
It shouldn't be allowed everywhere in your house, though. But cool.
Yes, inside the house. But
Hey,
yeah,
Beckham, fuck off, man.
I think with Havertz, maybe it's not so much that he's done everything that he can, like you said. We've squeezed it as much as we can out of that. So but I do think that like when you wait another season without getting the striker, it's gonna always come up. And so yeah, his performance was okay, but it probably just wasn't enough for what we need. And he doesn't score enough away from home, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. Isak in the last 5 weeks versus title contending teams, 2 games, 2 goals. Thoughts?
Jess, what can I say that you haven't said, that me and you haven't both said? We love Isaac. Like, the only slight on him is injuries. I don't care whether it's Isaac, Gyökeres. We know to go to the next level, we need someone with that dog in them, as Mike is kind of alluded to. Like, we need a striker. But I must admit, I do sit here and wonder, like, for all the hype and the media links, how, like, there is a reality where Mikel Arteta doesn't sign a striker. You know, he signed someone that's an upgrade on Martinelli. We kind of mimic the Liverpool front three. When you look at what Arteta wants from a striker, does he want someone that's clinical? Now, I'm not an idiot. Of course, Arteta would like a striker that scores goals. But if that was what's needed, Havertz doesn't get an opportunity to score there. We don't play Trossard as a false nine. Eddie Nketiah doesn't get a run out there. And anything else we've done. So it's like, I think as Arsenal fans, we need to take in what Mikel Arteta demands from his striker before we take heed of the links. Now, I would love Isaac. The only slight I could say is his injuries. It comes down to money. The man's got like 4 years left on his deal. Jess, you understand football. We all know if we're going to sign Isaac, if we're not talking 90, 100 plus million, how far is this conversation that us two are having right now goes? Dead.
Yeah, 100%. I think whenever, as long as Isak keeps scoring those types of goals that he did against Liverpool, I just feel like there's going to be a constant conversation about what we don't have.
%.
And we already know, because you and I talked about it ad nauseum when this window closed, that we just didn't do enough, so we just have to go with
They
what
called
we
us
have.
negative, Jess.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was what it was. But I do think that Isak has a lot of those qualities that we need. Do I think
100%.
that we're going to walk up to freaking Newcastle and give them 120 million with all the beef on the pitch and off the pitch? Hell no.
Forget it. Because you know how Arsenal are. We're not the team, and I'm not saying this right or wrong, but we're not the team that's going to say, you know what, that you 120 million asking price, have that. We're going to, if the asking price is 120, we're going to bid 99.9. We're going to talk to you for time. There's going to be a few weeks going to and from him. We might get over the line eventually. We're not that kind of team. And anyone that thinks that was, I hope I'm wrong. I would listen, clip up this YouTube stream. If I'm wrong, clip it up. Make sure Jess goes viral via me. But we all know we're not signing man in January. You all know we're not signing no Gyökeres in Jan, no Isaac in Jan. There might be an unknown forward that we don't know about. That's a madman that we grab. We're not getting Isaac. We need Isaac to kind of down tools at Newcastle and say, I want to leave. We need to be prepared to put down the money, and we need Newcastle to be willing to sell, which I think they are. But fundamentally, he's got 4 years left on his deal. If you're not talking money, forget about it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to talk about it, but myth.
Because we need more than just that anyway, and we know that. So it's like, yeah, I just don't see it. I could see us looking at Cunha and Sesko again and guys like that. Because
brother, like you're saying bad names that are brother.
But I can see us looking at those players.
Brother. Like, I don't know where.
That
Cunha's
is in
a good
our
player,
price
but
range.
why are people acting like Cunha takes us to the next level? Helps.
I'm not acting like that.
I'm not saying you. No, Jess, you're not involved. But one thing Cunha's not. We're not getting out the hood with Cunha. He's a good player. We're not getting out the hood, and we're not putting 50, 60 million down. Forget all of that. I don't know about you lot, but I was watching Reece Nelson on loan in Germany. Cunha was there. Meaty. Forget that. Meaty. He's Brazilian, so I'm on it, but meaty. Don't be silly, fans. Meaty.
Overspending for Premier League players is what we love. That's our tea. That's what we're into. So, yeah, but Jesus leaving in January, I think only happens if we identify some sort of striker that we can get. And I just don't know that if we're going to do that. I genuinely see us going back in for Sesko at the end of the season. I feel like because they're not playing particularly well right now, he'll be maybe ready to go. And it's interesting because every time I look at the chat when I mention Sesko, people say he's crap. Yeah, and I'm just how can you say that I just don't see a crap player. I see somebody that's not as refined as the guys that you want. That's raw, what I see. Man. Yeah.
Raw, bro. Like mad raw. Like that's why I think Arteta is on signing him, because you don't necessarily harm Kai Havertz. Like, I think Sesko is raw. There'll be definitely games that you pee me off, and there'll be games I like. And I'm not disrespecting Cunha. No. That Ali guy, I'm not disrespecting Cunha. Cunha's good. But Arsenal fans do this weird thing. We get linked with someone. Now they're the guy. They can do everything. They can walk on water like Jesus. Like they can do everything. Relax. I'm just saying, we're not getting out the hood with that. If Cunha signed, No, Jess will tell you when it comes to Brazilian players, I'm shameless. You think I'll ever give up on
for
Jesus
sure.
and Martinelli? Cunha, we're not getting out the hood. You're a good squad player. You're better than certain man. I ain't gonna say no names, but nah.
Yeah.
And the price they're gonna ask for as well. Forget it, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about 60 million for a player that
Safe.
in a couple of months will be like, oh, we need to buy someone else
Safe.
because he's not going to do it for us.
Safe. Safe.
So yeah, it's a hard no for me, hard pass. So we'll see what we do. I think Jesus being consistently linked to a move away, we know it's just a matter of time. It's just who we're going to get to replace him, and what will we have not won because we waited a whole year, you know?
Trust.
Yeah. But are we back in the title race, by the way? What do you think? Because
I don't understand the question, Jess. What is a title race? Because in many ways,
fair enough. You haven't looked at
winning the title could be first, second, but we just need to win our games, man. Like PR settings. No, we are in the listen. We are in the title race, but what we can't say is, regardless of City's form, we are third of that race. Because one thing I'll give to City, and I still think we've all got it in our minds, regardless of their form, is that they're still City. They're still expected to go on a run. Nobody can stop Liverpool right now. All Arsenal can do is what we did similar to the United game: win the game, hope Liverpool drop points, and keep it moving. But what I would say to you is, if we don't win the title, is Arteta getting sacked? Or like, I just want to know, like, are we having a conversation?
100% he's not getting sacked. If he could
no,
win
are you on sacking him?
Oh, if he doesn't win any trophies, he's gone.
If he wins the FA Cup, it's enough, yeah?
The context is so important. He has to.
Again, we're going over there.
City has to win the title.
Do you work for the Athletic? Because you sounded like the Athletic, don't you, with all of that context stuff.
It's funny because everybody calls me Leanne Gunner. 1 minute I'm the Athletic, the next minute I'm toxic girl.
Charlie, people call you toxic.
Yeah.
What, positive toxic or
they got to her. They let Lee Gunner and Northside get to her. I was like, no, I'm just saying the truth. I don't know why.
Like positive toxic. I don't think you're either side, but I would kind of more take it in if they said you're positive toxic. But that other side now, big up Lee and Northside though, man.
No, I'm just.
Someone calls you the Black Gunner blog.
I need to see how things. Leanne Gunner to Black Gunner blog. That's just insane.
You never know, man.
It's insane. But yeah, I do want to see how things unfold. But I'm very open to change if we don't win a major trophy this season. I'll put it that way. I'm tired of waiting, and Saliba's scaring me.
No, on a serious note, you're right. It is about context. I can't sit here and say in May I'm going to be effing and blinding Arteta out. But if Onslaught wins the Prem, Onslaught in particular, if it's another year without a major honor, Arteta, I'm looking at you funny, man. I love you. I think you got aura. I've been in the press conferences. You definitely have aura. You're a madman. You're a genius. But I do think the last 2 years, including this year, it's just about getting over the line. Like, one love for the rebuild. It's about getting over the line. Pardon me. If Chelsea finish above us, Arteta needs to leave. Simple. I will say that. If Chelsea finish above us, Arteta, you got to go. That's one thing I'll say Arteta out.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, make sure that you like and subscribe on your way out. We're actually going to head over to Diluted's channel now to do another stream. So make sure you guys join us over there. Go into your YouTube search bar, put in Diluted Gunner. He should come up, right?
Or type in your name. It should come up. Your name's in the title.
Type in my name and we'll be over there in like 2.5 seconds. I really enjoyed this stream. Diluted, thank you so much for coming on. And
no, just cut the track. Furthermore, don't get out without subscribing and smashing. If you're not going to subscribe, smash the like button on Jess's video. It's likes that help the YouTube channel. She's putting out great content. Make sure you hit the like button. Don't be a prick. The best things are free in life. So yeah, don't get away without hitting the like button. And comment for the algorithm, man. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a prick. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.